I am looking for alternative operations and surgeries that could actually fix my life, my back, and get my Jesus off of that cross, because my life shouldn't be worse than death in the tomb. I'm a young woman. I have a lot of love to give. I have written good reports and paperwork. I've made people welcome who respect me. I made people unwelcome who disrespect me. That's my job. And I think that's the job for everybody. To say, stay well clear from me. If you do not respect me, do not value the fact that I had suffered injustice. I'm totally innocent here. And the more I seem to defend myself, and the more I seem to say I'm innocent and say how I feel to do the right thing, the more I seem to be attacked. So this subject of social and ethnic cleansing comes down to your appearance. So my big nose, my dark eyes, my dark hair, and the body shape. So it is everything to do with slim women versus the fat women who are sexed versus those who are not sexed, which is everything to do with social and ethnic cleansing. And I have to put it out into the public and make it well known that they're doing it for profit. They are making profit out of my suffering, and they're making my daughter become my enemy as a result. I cannot say to her, well done. And I want to say to her, well done for not going towards what everybody else is doing and follow the crowd and do what everyone else is doing so that you can remain popular. I want to be able to say well done to her. And I ran out of time at my last telephone talk, and I'm hoping it's not too late. But the damage has already been done, even once, of her being sexually penetrated by this bastard. It is a bastard because it is sexual grooming. She's known him for 2 years. She hasn't had any other boyfriends, and so it's wrong. She needs to have an uncle figure, a father figure, a grandfather figure, a teacher, all in the male category. And also she needs to have a working relationship with them, to establish a working relationship and a spiritual relationship with the opposite sex, who would be as her father figure. She's not had that. So she's not going to develop a healthy relationship with the opposite sex. It will be abusive. And I have to tell her that. I have to warn her as a mum to be responsible for that, and have the opportunity to do so, hopefully by the 8th of, I think it's 8th of November, when we booked it. And likewise, you would need to have a driving license to drive a car. My daughter's not even age 18, and they're saying at age 17 she could have sex without a license, or without their permission or their authority. But they only give me 1 hour to be with my daughter. So that's also discrimination, to say, as an adult, I cannot be there to guide her, to provide her advice. My freedom of speech is blocked. And I'm put in a type of a museum for the auction somewhere where I'm silenced and told to shut up because I don't have capitalism. I don't have capital, in other words. I don't have a mortgage. I don't own a car. I don't have up-to-date education. So that's why they've silenced me. And they've put this thumb up to say to my daughter, and give her a wink to say she has that bad freedom and she'll have the good luck from the devil for doing that, which is totally superficial and wrong. So she does need help. She does need that protection. She needs more adolescents and young adults from age 17, 18 plus. They need to have a religious organization that would reach out to them and protect them from having unconscious sex. So it's the same as unconsciousness, being knocked out, having an empty spirit and an empty heart, and having adolescent sex. She doesn't know what love means yet. She's mentally messed up. They mashed up her brain into the education system. They want to mash up her vagina too, which is what they do to young girls. And it's causing me a post-traumatic stress disorder to say that my daughter can accidentally become pregnant, to say that she could be poisoned, She could become so hot that she would want to have multiple sexual partners and become sexually active by having even other perverse type of sex. She could go on drugs as a result and be a deadlock to her spirit, so that she has no access to the Holy Spirit, only the bad spirit, which is a ghost. Each and every human being has a spirit. Those that don't have a soul are not attached. They have a detachment disorder. So my daughter is suffering from emotional detachment disorder, which is a trauma. Also, far worse for children and young adolescents who have been forced into a stranger's house and have been forced to be separated from their loving parents. So I'm not a celebrity here. If they're going to compare me to Roger, for example, who had assaulted me, and I had reported him to the police as he was boasting about it. He had his booster injection. He had his COVID pandemic injections. And so did my daughter. So they're both actually so annoying. When they get bored, they will do anything to access materials to have the government on their side. Blimey, and oh bother. So my social isolation and doing self-shielding counted for nothing. And they're saying that I'm more dangerous, when in fact they're more of a carrier for the disease and more feasible to get it compared to those who have never had it. So this dogmatism of in the school, in the neighborhood, in the working place is all an agreement to dog about through bitchy and bastard type of behavior, to say they can settle with their settled in their preferable situation, and they can become intolerant. On the other hand, I cannot establish myself, and I'm not allowed to be intolerable of them. So it's the worst hypocrisy coming from the bitch and bastard society. And it is bitchy. It is hate crime. It is hatred against humanity. It is pending at the moment. They're looking for ways to create a crisis. They're looking for ways to make me go hysterical, make me lose my mind, make me shout at them, make me exhibit them publicly. They want me to have evidence against their crimes, and that's not my job. Like I say, if anyone wants to help me, they should come around my area to identify who these evil gangsters are, because I'm already suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. It's like as if I have been chained up by the beast, by the vengeful, full of rage thugs who have chained me up. So hopefully this video will go out to the House of Commons. Hopefully this video will go up to the upper house, to the Senate, to see if they can make domestic democracy. Compared to false democracy, it does not look at social and domestic terrorism. It does not take into consideration sex tapes that are being sold and homemade are actually fabrications of social and domestic terrorism. Home turf or poop to say that they're more inferior than me, that they can come and poop and peep under my window without me blocking them, as I have no caretaker. I cannot afford a janitor 24/7 non-stop, to have my home cleaned non-stop and have my home supervised and have a security guard outside my home non-stop. I do not have a guard near my home and to shoot them by a gunshot or a loud pitch to frighten them. I don't have that. So this is why to make democracy is to consider these points, to say that it's my home, it's my motherland since I was 7 years old. They've demolished my home. They've wanted to burn my home. They want to burn me alive through this witch thing. They removed my birthrights, my daughter's birthrights, which is also against democracy. I have never had a fair hearing in high court, in any court, even with my barrister and family law court. It was for my daughter. It wasn't for me being discriminated against. And so there was no one to deliver me, only God, from discrimination. And also this is how democracy in truth, and democracy that is genuine, can be evolved rather than dissolved. It can be made into a hard government to look at democracy. But without democracy, we only have prejudice, we have falsehood, we have, what do they call in America, Republicans. So noise nuisance is social and domestic terrorism. Being a burden, that means being jealous and envious of what colours I'm wearing. So they would attack me by colour, my clothing. So it's colour-coded through racism and prejudice. What I have on my windowsill is also attacked. So I have to make sure that there's very little on my windowsill that they can see.